Today we're going to do an oil change on the car, and the reason we're going to do it is because it's been starting poorly in the very cold weather we've had, and I realised it might be the oil. I put some thicker oil in it last year so that it wouldn't smoke so much on startup, and then it occurred to me that perhaps that might be the reason it's cranking poorly. So today I've got some, what was the oil I had? It was 2040, which is on the reflection ridiculous. So got some 540 and the important tool for catching the oil. So we'll see how it goes. First thing I'm going to do is start up the car, and I've charged up the battery yesterday, and I put a brand new fuel filter in, and you can see the fuel filter there, and it's got the month April 23 on it, so that'll have to fill up. So we'll fill that up, start it up, warm up the car, get the oil a bit warm, and then we'll go through doing it. Now here you'll see I've got it warming up, started pretty well, and I've got the ramps, and you have to reverse it up, these ramps, and they're old ramps that I got from the rubbish dump actually. Somebody was throwing them away, and I've got the wooden sort of bits to get the car onto them. I think it would come up anyway, but it makes it a gentler climb. So I'm going to get it up onto the ramps, and then I'm going to take the cover off underneath to get to the oil filter, and I'll talk to you again after that. But here it is, it's idling nicely, no choke needed, and you can see the petrol coming through the new petrol filter there. So that's working all right. So I'll see you again when it's up on the ramps. I have to reverse it up all by myself, not go too far, and we'll talk to you a bit later. Now that's the oil drain plug out, and there's the washer I used this time and before, and the other little one is from the other car we've got. And up on my shelf I've got some more washers, but we'll take you out to the car, and you'll see that I've got the old towel for wiping things. That's the little cover that you fit on underneath, and that makes the airflow go nicely under the car. It's there for a reason, so that it hits the sump. There's the little tool I use for getting out the drain plug. There's the nice Tang tool spanners I've had for years and years and never let me down. A rug to put my poor bony knees on. And there's the last of the oil dripping out. Got the spanner, the 19mm spanner. And then up here, when you drain oil, I mean you probably know, but you take the lid off the oil and the dipstick out so that you can get air in at the top to let all of the oil out. So the next thing you're going to see is when the oil's all drained out, I'll take you underneath the engine and I'll show you where the oil filter is and how that's coming out. You may as well have a look at me in my glory. Turn you around. Here it is. It is me doing it in April. I'm going to edit this. I hope to anyway. Right, we're under the car, and I've cleaned the sump. That's that. Where can I show you? There's the. That's the pipe coming down from the crankcase breather. That's where it goes down. I sort of fitted it in there. Now you can see the oil filter there. That's going to come off in a minute. Got access to that, and I've got a nice tool for it. I hope it's a nice tool anyway. I've had it for a few years. Here we are. This is going to fit on it. But anyway, that's and next to it is the oil pressure sender. And if you want to remove that, you can only do it when you've got this tray off, and actually you can only get to it, to the bolt to it, when you've got the oil filter off. So if you want to do the oil pressure sender, you've got to be doing it when you're doing an oil change. Anyway, I'll get to you again when I've got the oil filter off. Check it with the one I bought, and we'll put it back on. There's the button. Now you'll see the number on it, NFO 3009, and it's the same on the new one. And I have, you'll know that King Charles is being crowned in a few weeks, and so I've done the same thing to this, and I've anointed it with oil in the traditional way, just like King Charles will be anointed with the holy oil. So this has been anointed with fresh oil. So I'm getting under the car in a minute and I'll screw it on, and when I've screwed it on I'll show you. I've also had a good clear up under there of any other oil I can find. Keep it nice and clean. So now you'll see, I hope, it's on and I've cleared up and you have a little look underneath, and I've seen something that's the oil pressure sender is rubbing against the downpipe from the thermostat, so that's not a good thing. But I'll have to, but I'm looking, you know, at other things under here, the starter motor, how I might get that out if I needed to under here. I think I'd probably put it on a 4-post or always take it to one of my mates. But just generally having a look around, see if there's any obvious things. There is a drop of moisture there on the pipe. Now that's either coming from a leak or it's dribbled down. I mean, that's the lowest point, but that's worth keeping an eye on. I have to think about that. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere, but there we go. Have a think about that. Switch this off if I can find the button. Now you'll see the baffle plate on, and that's an important part of the car. It directs air to the sump, which, as I've said before, is an oil cooler really, and people leave them off Volkswagens and air-cooled Volkswagens, and like I say, it's an important part. Air-cooled engines on aircraft, you know, the big Pratt & Whitneys, they had a complex system of baffles, otherwise the engine wouldn't get air going to the right places to keep it cool. So make sure that's on yours and that it's okay. Just looking at brake pipes and things, like I say, when I'm under here, and all sorts of things. Of course, you don't often get under a car. That's that gear linkage. I'll just give that a rattle, see if it's a bit loose again. It's a bit loose again. Why is that? I might give it a bit. The bolt's not loose, or is it? I might give it a tighten up. Anyway, see you a bit later. Now I'm going to be putting the oil in, and then after I've done that I'll take it back down off the ramp. Oops. Now for putting oil in the car, I've been caught before where it says it takes this much oil and you put it in, you find you've put too much in. So what I do is I put in a reasonable amount, say half this container, and then put the oil filler cap on and the dipstick, take it down off the ramp, let it run, get a bit of oil in the oil filter, you'd hope, and then let it settle, and then use the dipstick as a way of seeing when it's got to the right level, and then of course take it for a run and try it again. But I've not had much luck with people saying, oh, this is how much oil goes in, and it being absolutely accurate. So I'll pour it in about half and see how it goes, top it up from there. And there we are, it's back in the garage, and I've found a couple of things. The rubber hose, the flexible hose that fits on the crankcase breather had come off, so I'm going to replace that with something that doesn't get it. It had got hard with the heat, so I'm going to find something else today when I go into Truro. And I've looked at some of the lines on the coils, and I crimped them the old-fashioned way, the wrong way, so I'm going to take those off. That's a job I can do with the engine in and all the rest of it, and I don't have to take the distributor out to do that, but that's worth doing. So there we go, that's the X19 and oil filter oil change done, and it's worth doing because I found a couple of things that needed doing, and that crankcase breather being off means that there was oil splashing around, well, not splashing around, but vapour. So it's always worth doing, and it's worth doing it yourself if you possibly can. The tools don't cost a lot, really, not these days. So anyway, good luck to you all. Here we are, we've got the sun shining in Cornwall. Heavens gracious me, haven't had that for a while, and big cumulus clouds, so the gliding will be coming. And environmentally getting rid of all the old filter and oil, as you would expect I would, in that proper way. Dear Greta, I care for her. And there's the old petrol filter down there. That will stay there for until perhaps next year, I should think, till I get round to it. Anyway, here I am. Good luck to you all, and sorry about the singing, but it's just an amusement. I'm just a vain old man. Bye bye.